In this video, we're going to look at a step-by-step guide to coming off ball screens. It's a checklist you can run through mentally. When one option isn't available, you check it off and move on to the next one. This is Ball Screen Simplified. Let's start with the defense you'll face most often, drop coverage.
Durant goes right at Duncan on the switch and jams it with two hands.
In drop coverage, it's the drop defender's job to not let the roller or the ball handler get behind them.
At all costs.
The table about the sub insult, a little bit of a 30, maybe.
Blocks by Brook, wow!
While the drop defender is containing the two attackers, the primary defender is quickly hustling back to guard the ball again.
Leonard's as healthy as he's been in years.
Just knowing what the defense is trying to do can help us understand how to attack this coverage. But first, we've got to set up the screen correctly. When you set up the screen, you're gonna need enough space to reject it. So space the floor and make sure you're not running into your teammates' defenders.
Right. Nice crossover layup is good.
Spacing is very important because let's say you're being forced to reject. If you have bad spacing, let's just say this defender's in more of a deny position. Now you can't use the screen, and when you reject, you're running right into that defender. So the whole play is shut down because of a poor setup. This is why forcing your defender to reject the screen is very effective when the offense is in the corner, because that sideline acts as a third defender.
So it's so important. You talked about the entry pass, the post-entry pass for the Pacers.
But forcing to reject is a whole other video. So, once you have spacing, then you want to keep your defender occupied. Ideally, you want your defender to not even know the screen is coming. So before you use the screen, keep your defender occupied by playing 1v1 with them. This keeps your defender's eyes on you and not looking around for screens.
Look at this cheeky play, bruv.
Points to one side. Oh, the screen's coming now. Guess I better get ready. Use the screen on the other side.
Technical free
Keep your defender occupied. Hell, throw sand in their eyes. No, just size them up with dribble moves. Be a threat to drive.
Little quick sit dribble Tatum. That's two in a row.
Once they aren't expecting the screen, and now you've got your reject angle, now you come off the screen. Now, if you just play at your local gym, they're just going to go under the screen.
Blocking it from Adams. Westbrook collects three on the way. That's good.
Like, seriously, I'd say 8 out of 10 times they'll just go under. And of course, when they go under, the first option is to shoot!
Come down to can Atlanta defend well enough and can.
But maybe shooting isn't your forte.
Fires the three. That one comes off.
Well then, once you come off the screen, if you notice your defender hasn't gotten all the way through the screen yet, that's your cue to take it all the way to the basket.
253. THT drives. Throws it home.
If your defender goes under the screen and you come out on the other side and you see your defender has fought all the way through to stop your driving lane, in this case they haven't fully fought through, but there's just a bunch of help defenders there so you can't drive, then your final option here is to rescreen. It's definitely not the most convenient option, but maybe you'll have a knowledgeable screen setter who understands this. So that's under. First option, shoot. If you don't shoot, the second option is to drive if your defender's still caught in the screen.
Good seasons for the Knicks. Jimmy drives in and banks it
And the last resort is a rescreen. So now, maybe your defender's thinking, I can't just keep letting him use the screen. And so when you start moving to the screen, now they jump it early. This is where the first option of our checklist comes into play. Ask yourself, can I reject? If you see them jolt to get to the screen before you, you very quickly change directions and reject the screen. Then, your options are either to shoot,
Trey with a step back three.
finish at the rim,
Right. Nice crossover layup is good.
or drive and punish the help defense with a pass.
every time he steps on the floor, no matter what the situation. Granted.
Notice how on this play, the drop defender is positioned to meet the ball handler when he comes off the screen. Rejecting in these scenarios is money because that defender is not in a position to cover a reject.
Quick sit dribble Tatum. That's two in a row.
But now see how this defender is in a deep drop and they're not really playing up to the side of the screen? So now when you reject, they're in a better position to cover the drive.
With the turnovers, that's actually been a problem for Paul last couple of games. Drew Holiday misses.
This deep drop can oftentimes shut down the reject, and it'll be easier for the primary defender to recover because there's no screen in the first place.
Ingles for three.
This is not to say to completely disregard a reject if the big is dropped, but just know that your odds of success on a reject definitely increase when the drop defender is playing up to the screen.
Get that one. Tip won't go. Bat it out.
Okay, so now we're torching our defenders if they jump the screen early. A good defender will oftentimes force you to use the screen, because in their mind, when you come off the screen, that's where their help is.
Burst of speed, but he knows how to put people in difficult spots down there in that paint and at that mid.
What some of the best defenders will do is force the ball handler to use the screen and then heavily pressure the ball before the screen comes.
Right up in Booker's waistband. Taps it from behind. No foul call. Bruce Brown.
By pressuring the ball, they can bump the ball handler off their line and therefore squeeze through the screen with them.
There's Schroeder. Schroeder's had a lot of big games.
So if you're facing a defender who's pressuring you, you turn your body to face the sideline to protect the ball. Then, once you reach the screen, nudge your defender into the bottom hip of your screener and come off the screen.
It is in this building. It goes a 3.
Notice how Clay is practically stiff-arming his defender into the screen. Now, we have finally got our defender in a trail position and we've come off the screen. Once you come off the screen, it's time for the second option on the checklist. Can I shoot?
Reeves trying to fight over the screen. Thompson gets a little room and hits the three.
Oftentimes, you very much can shoot. Like, very often.
That's a 3 put in.
So be ready to shoot when you come off the screen.
James from the left elbow rattles that one in.
There will be times when the drop defender is playing higher up to take away this shot. Here, we've got to remember that the drop defender can't let anyone get behind them. So when the screener's defender is playing high like this, you can wait for your screener to start cutting, and then this defender has to make a decision. If they're a good Samaritan defender who follows the rule, they can't just let that roll man get behind them, so they'll drop to cover them. This, of course, will result in an open shot.
And then you're taking away Zach Randolph on the offensive glass where you're going to...
If the drop defender is playing high up to the screen, oftentimes you can come off the screen and wait to see what decision they're going to make. If they drop back to the roll man, it'll give you an open shot.
You talk about it, give it the lane because you're paying so much attention to Jokic and his ability to roll and pop.
Sometimes though, the drop defender will not cover the roll. Whenever your roller gets behind the drop defender, or is about to get behind the drop defender, this is where you pass them the ball.
That is a beautiful pass by KD.
If they have got behind them, you'll hit them with an overhead pass. Oftentimes, this is a lob.
He wanted Dwight Powell. He'll get Dwight Powell.
I understand that some of these plays could be considered a soft hedge, but the two can look very similar.
Get behind him, that's a good thing for you.
Tucker left that three short.
And the soft hedge can very quickly turn into a drop, so we're keeping him in here.
It's just 15 and 23 on the road as MVP throws one down.
Alright. Here we've got that same scenario where the drop defender lets the roll man get behind them. But what's this? This defender's trying to help on the roll. Frankly, he couldn't do much against AD, but this is another coverage you've got to be ready for. Sometimes there will be a help defender who tags to assist the drop defender in containing the roll guy.
Over to Gabriel, goes for the hook that goes down.
Look at how LeBron instantaneously reads the tag and punishes the help.
Reeves from deep, got a tray.
One of the advantages of using drop coverage is that you typically don't need any extra help, but it still does happen sometimes, so don't forget about the other defenders.
Passes on the floater out to Hunter and he's knocked down his...
Alright, recap. First option, reject the screen if available, especially when the second defender is playing up high to the screen. Second option, use the screen, and shoot the ball.
Gets Levine. Off the screen. That's up.
From Joliet, Illinois. Bang, bang, bang.
But what if the drop defender takes away this shot? Then we get into the third option on the checklist. Can I split?
Driving, Mitchell, finishing!
When can we split the screen? Good question. The split will frequently be open when the drop defender is playing higher up to the screen as aforementioned. When they play high up, it leaves this gap to split the screener and the screener's defender with a low dribble.
Alex cleans off Grimes as Mitchell pulls up. Donovan Mitchell connects.
Once you split, the first option is to get to the rim.
Wheeling through, Lowry comes it in!
Obviously, it's not going to be easy to finish against the tall trees.
Driving blocked. What a swat again.
You might opt for a floater,
Trouble. Screen by Valanciunas. Drive by Graham. Foul.
maybe a hook shot where you keep your body in between your defender and the ball,
Flash challenges out of late at home.
or jump right into the chest of the big. I've seen Luka and the Mavericks set a second screen when he gets to the rim.
Doncic finds some space. Foul sealed off Embiid.
It's a bit cheeky, innit?
For 7 days, given it was an excused absence, but he...
Of course, you can also take a shot off the split.
This series, it's all Chris Paul right now.
An advantage to this is when you split going right, assuming you're right-handed. When you shoot the ball here, now the defender can't get to the ball without getting through the shooter's body, which of course is a foul.
Paul beats him off the dribble.
So that's split. If the gap is there, change directions and look to score.
With the handles, DiVincenzo hangs and finishes.
If the drop defender takes away the split, we check it off and move on to the next option. Can I get around?
Not been here in a while. He's been to a few games now. Walker's fouled by Klay Thompson.
Sometimes it can be hard to tell which one is available. So maybe you fake the split with an in and out and then go around.
Durant goes right at Duncan.
Like he did the other night, he usually has bounced back. That is
Careless turnovers in the first. The footwork to change.
The in and out is a great read and react tool to use against the drop defender.
And a drive. And a score.
When they don't know what's available, the best ball handlers jail their defenders to buy themselves more time to read the drop defender.
Smart. And Williams finishes up high.
Barrett switched on him.
Can I split? Can I get around? Let me wait for something to open up. So he jails the defender to buy more time, and now the drop guy chose to cover the roll man, and so Jimmy can get around and finish.
Barrett trying to get back to him. Jimmy found the angle and draws the whistle.
If you can learn to jail and not force up any bad shots, you're gonna be dangerous in the pick and roll. Speaking of being patient, if you feel you've got no options open, no shot, no split, no around, then you can drag that big out on a switch and cook? Or you can also hit the big man. Here, the defense tries the double, which leads to the open jumper. So, do you think you have what it takes to make the correct reads in the pick and roll? Let's find out.
That's a point.
A meaningful game for both of these teams. Pulled down the lane and regular season.
And the playoff one last.
bank it.
So I hope you learned something. If you found this video valuable, like and you know what to do. Get out of here.